Stroll through Cherry Valley. Taking a stroll through Cherry Valley is like taking a stroll back in time. Everywhere you look, there are reminders of the generations of people who were here before us. Cherry Valley is said to have been named by Mr. Alva Stevens, who came here from New York State during the War of 1812. The name was inspired by the wild cherry trees that grew in the area, although some say it is because the place reminded him of another Cherry Valley, a village west of Albany, New York. Stevens was a hatter by trade. He had 3 businesses at Stone Mills, now called Glenora. First, a shop where he made hats, then a hotel, and finally, as owner and operator for the ferry between Glenora and Athol-South. Eventually, he and his wife, Hannah Walker, sold the property and moved to a farm on the shores of East Lake, today the home of the Wallace family and their bed and breakfast named Away.
Alva Stevens died at the age of 99 and was buried in the Cherry Valley Cemetery, which opened as a churchyard burial ground in the early 1800s. Today it is a resting place for residents from all parts of Prince Edward County and from all over the country who have ties to the county. Another well-known person buried in the cemetery is Philip Dodds. His nickname was Mr. Prince Edward. Dodds joined the Picayune Gazette as a reporter in 1924 at the age of 18 and retired as the editor of the paper 42 years later.
The Athol Town Hall was built in 1870 as the meeting place for the Township Council, as well as it hosted many community functions. In the 1980s, the municipal offices were added to the rear of the building. Today, many groups and organizations use this space. The Athol Recreation Committee runs a variety of special events, including a strawberry social, games nights, pig roasts, yoga classes, art shows, and the annual Cherry Jubilee. The Athol Town Hall remains the heart of the community in Cherry Valley.
There were once 3 churches in Cherry Valley. Today there is only one that remains. In 1925, Presbyterian and Methodists, along with a smaller western group of churches, united to create the United Church of Canada, of which the Cherry Valley United Church is an example. In 2012, this church celebrated its 150th anniversary. The tower, not part of the original construction, was added later. It houses a bell donated by Mr. Byron Hughes.
The old Texaco station, now renamed Fixaco, is the original location of the garage that Sam Armstrong built in the mid-1960s. Sam's garage, besides addressing the mechanical needs of the valley, was also a meeting place for men while their wives shopped at the nearby general store. The original garage burned down in 1963 in a spectacular fire. Luckily, there was no breeze that day, so the fire did not spread to the general store or the tinder-dry brush or marsh behind it. Sam closed his garage in 1976.
There have been many owners of the site of the general store. In 1909, the store was run by William and Emma Brown. The general store was an important part of the village. It was a gathering place for the locals. In the winter, it was often the case to see the local men around the stove in the store playing checkers. The general store supplied the residents of Cherry Valley and Athol with everything from baby food to gravestones. It also housed the post office along with a barber shop. Today, the general store is the home of the bald photographer Graham Davies.
Next to the general General Store was a branch of the Standard Bank of Picton. The bank opened in Cherry Valley during the horse and buggy days, so that the farmers and others did not always have to make the 5-mile trip to town. The bank was open in the afternoon 2 days a week. After being a bank, the building was used as a candy-making factory by Philip Brown. The candy was sold at the general store, which was owned by his parents. In 1951, the building was torn down and a garage was built by the Metcalf family, where Mr. Willard Metcalf stored his Model T.
The first school in Cherry Valley was built of logs on the Scott property, but most older residents remember attending classes in the 2-story stone building built in 1924, which still stands today beside our own Athol-South Marysburgh School. In remembering the past, we honor those that came before us, making Cherry Valley what it is today. And who knows, contributions we make to our community today could be part of someone else's history tomorrow.
Thank you so much for coming. Didn't they do a wonderful job?